Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video, man. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys exactly why it's difficult to make friends as a man that gets a cold physique, a man that's in shape, that is on this body game. I'm going to tell you exactly why it's going to be difficult for you to make friends, mainly because you're going to have a lot of haters. And so, yeah, you're going to have an increase of haters. And when you have an increase in haters, it's going to be very difficult for you to make friends. And I'm just going to go ahead and share you the breakdown as to why that is, man. And so you can be prepared for it. And if you're a guy that's saying like, oh, well, I don't want to level up and lose friends, bro, you're cooked, because these are actually people that you don't want to associate with. These people are not people that you'll be in alignment with. And I'm going to tell you exactly why you shouldn't really care about losing these friends, because when you lose these friends, you're only going to make room for better, more quality friends that actually support you and love you, as opposed to hating you. Okay, but a lot of people are going to start to hate you, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. Okay, all right. The reason why people are going to hate you, bro, is because people are in competition with you. Okay, most people are insecure and do not have a very, they're not secure in themselves and who they are. But what makes them feel comfortable, what makes them feel good about themselves, is by comparing themselves to others. And when they compare themselves to others, they may look at other people and be like, oh, well, he's fat and he's out of shape, or, oh, he doesn't lock in, or he's fatter than me, or he's broker than me, or he's more than this than that. And because they see that, oh, well, Bob's not, you know what I'm saying, grinding or doing anything, I'm not as bad as Bob. Just being not as bad as Bob is enough for them to accept themselves. When in all actuality, they really don't accept themselves. They don't love themselves. They only love themselves or accept themselves on the condition that nobody is better than them. Okay? It makes them feel comfortable. They're cool with being who they are, as long as nobody is better than them. Okay? But when you get in shape, when you're disciplined, when you're knocking out your goals, your head is on your shoulders, and you're just, you know what I'm saying, you're focused. You know what I mean? And since they aren't doing that, and they know that that is what they would like to do, because that they know that that would be progression and that would be elevation in their world if they were able to exercise discipline, able to eat right, able to eat healthy, able to go to the gym on a consistent basis. That right there is things that they would love to do, but they don't want to, because there's no real incentive for them to go out there and do it. Because like I said, Bob's not going to the gym, Bob's not eating healthy, and Bob is actually fatter than me, and Bob is more cooked than I am. And so since I'm just not as bad as Bob, I'm okay with being who I am. But whenever they get around you, they can't say that. They can't say that they're good being who they are. When they're around you, they feel less than, because while they're able to sit there and say, yeah, I'm better than Bob, they can't say that they're better than you. And it's all because they, like I said, they're comparing themselves to others. People compare themselves to others whenever they don't have solid secureness in who they are. So what they do is that they may not feel good about themselves, or they may be trying to find out if they should feel good about themselves. And the only way that they can feel good about themselves is by comparing. And they love to compare, because if they see somebody that's worse off than them, then that'll give them the ease of mind to be like, oh, well, maybe I'm not all that bad. Maybe it's okay that I, you know what I'm saying, eat fast food every single day, and that I don't work out or anything like that. Because like I said, Bob, Billy, and Joe, they all don't do those things either. And I'm not as cooked as them. So as long as I'm not as cooked as them, I think I'm good. And that's how they live their life. They live their life on the condition that they can see themselves being better than other people, as opposed to just looking at themselves in the mirror and seeing like, I can be better version than myself, and I should want to be a better version of myself, all simply because I should. And I know that that's exactly the reason as to why I was made, was to step into a specific purpose that God has called over me. But instead, what's the easiest answer? Just stay complacent, just stay lazy, stay comfortable, not move, not grind, because everybody else is doing the same thing. So the main reason as to why they're going to hate on you is because they're always comparing themselves to people. And when they compare themselves to you, no matter which way they try to make it shake, or either way they shake it or try to look at it, you know, in all facets or in all areas of life. It just seems like you're just better than them based on their grading criteria, based on their grading scale. When they see you locked in, doing your thing, eating right, got a cool physique, they're trying to find a way in which they're better than you. So that's why you'll ask, guys will come up to you when you're in shape and stuff like that. They'll be like, oh man, you're in shape, da da da. And then they try to ask you, get information, and you possibly may think that they're trying to get information because they want to get to know you or something like that. When in all actuality, they want to try and get more information because they want to find that, because when they see you, you make them feel bad about themselves. You make them feel less than, because like I said, they're comparing themselves to you. And when they compare themselves to you, they don't see themselves as being better than. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to fish for something to make them feel good, fish for something where they are better than you in. You get what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, they'll ask you about, oh, what is it that you do for work? And then if you tell them what you do for work or whatever the case may be, they'll say, oh, well, I do this. And so they may, if they ask you this would be crazy, but when they find out the main reason as to why they ask you what you do for work is that they try to figure out how much money you make. They look at your car. They look at your car to see, oh, what type of car is he driving? They try to find something to make them feel good about themselves, because like I said, they're comparing themselves to you. And because they're comparing themselves to you, when they do it to Bob and Billy and Joe and stuff like that, they feel good. But whenever they compare themselves to you, it makes them feel shit, because they like, damn, let's just call him Chad. Chad, he has a fucking six-pack. I don't got no six-pack. And you want to know something? They wish they had what you had. It's not necessarily like they hate you for who you are. They just hate the fact that you are living life in a way in which they would want to live. But the reason why they don't try to strive or work towards living that is because they feel comfortable with where they are. They don't want to work. They don't want to grind. They don't want to sacrifice. As long as they're better, the only thing that they care about, as long as I'm better than this person, and as long as they have conviction or belief that they are better than that person, then they will continuously just stay where they're at. And so when they're cool living their life like that on an everyday basis, being surrounded by the same people over and over, not having any sort of incentive or reason to just go out there, grow and grind, when they see you going out there grinding and doing your thing, bro, it's just going to show a big old spotlight on their insecurity. Just shows you how insecure they are within themselves. And so you bring out the worst versions of themselves. You actually bring out the feelings of how they really truly feel about themselves. Okay, so this is the main reason as to why they hate you. Okay, moving on to the next point, what I have here in my notes. They also get defensive because and they may actually take this hate in extra lengths, because they'll have a perspective that, oh, he's better than me. And so they'll also start to think that everybody else has that same exact perspective. They'll say, oh, you think you're better than us. You think you're better than us. When all actuality, you're not even fucking doing anything. You're just sitting here minding your business, doing what you want to do, living your life, not focused on anybody else. And then, you know what I'm saying, they start arguments with you, or they start beefing with you, and they say, yeah, you think you're better than us. And in all actuality, it's like, no, it's not actually what I think. I'm just locked in on my goals, living my life how I want to live it. But like I said, that's their perspective. Their perspective is that they think that you're better than them because you have access and you have certain things that they don't have access to. And they equate that, you know what I'm saying, having a cool physique, if they were to have that, then they would be a better versions of themselves. So when they see you being a better version of yourself, they automatically think, well, you think you're better than us because we don't have access, or we don't have the things that you have, okay? Or we're not doing the certain things that you're doing, okay? All right. And then so since they have that perspective, they assume that everybody else has that perspective as well. They think you have that perspective. They think their loved ones, they think their friends also have that perspective, okay? For example, say for example, you've been friends with a guy for a while, or not even you've been friends with the guys, but let's say for example, you go out, you know what I mean, on a couple's date, you know what I'm saying, a double date or something, or you just go out with some friends or something like that. And because they have this perspective that you're better than them, and they also think that everybody thinks they're better than them, they'll go, or that everybody else sees it too, or is thinking that as well, they'll start to look and investigate and find ways to prove that they're right, because that's what they believe. And I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know this, that whatever you believe in, you're right. Whatever you believe in, you're right. You can also choose in what you want to believe in. You can choose to say, you know what, I don't want to compare myself to anybody. I want to just compare myself to me and my former self. I want to be a better version of myself. I want to be who I am, and I'm proud of how I was made and who I am, and I don't necessarily need to be anybody to get a better result. I can be the best version of myself and be proud in that, be secure within that. I don't need any sort of extra validation or anything like that. That's the type of confidence that they could have in themselves, but they don't have that type of confidence in themselves. And so because they don't, they think that everybody is out to just compare them to you or whatever the case may be, makes them feel angry. And whenever they start finding reasons or finding areas or finding examples to prove them right, like say for example, their girl, you know what I'm saying, may go and ask you a question about like where the fucking bathroom is. The dude, he'll hate you, but he'll think like, man, the reason why my girl went to ask him where the bathroom is because my girl thinks she's better than me. And then he'll fucking go home, talk to his girl, talking about something. Well, what did you say to him? Like, what did you say to Chad? Why couldn't you just ask me where the bathroom is? You don't need to ask him where the bathroom is. And that's the reason. And the reason why he's getting mad is because he thinks that his girl simply just went and asked Chad where the bathroom was because she says, nah, since Chad is better than my man, I'd rather go and ask him. You know what I mean? And it's all because that's the perspective that they chose to have. And they'll start spazzing out. They'll start giving off very insecure energy, jealous energy. Like I said, if he went to his girl and was like, why'd you ask him that? You think that's going to make his girl even more turned on? She's going to get the fucking ick from that dude. She's like, dude, what the fuck is your problem, bro? I literally just asked the dude where the bathroom is so I can just go fucking take a shit or go take a piss, bro. I'm not even fucking worried about your friend or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But he'll make it something in which is totally not. And it's because he's just filled up with that competitive comparison energy because he's not secure within himself. He's very insecure. And he thinks that everybody thinks the same exact thing as well. And that is very harmful to his ego, okay? His ego is what he is following, and his ego feels very intimidated. That's the thing. Your ego will always constantly compare to other people. Your ego only uses the physical external world as proof of who you are. Your ego will only tell you, well, you are only a good quality person if you have a certain dollar amount in your bank account. You're only a specific quality person if you drive a certain car or if you have a certain job or something like that. Your ego will have you in a place to where you're always constantly thinking about the next accolade, the next achievement. Your ego will prevent you from being present in the moment and being thankful and you know, recognizing how far you've come. And your ego will just continuously look at the next thing, how you can just look bigger, you can look better, you can be badder, or whatever the case may be, because your ego only looks at accolades, only looks at achievements, you obtaining status as a way to validate who you are, when in all actuality, it's your spirit, it's within you to decide what type of quality person you are. You can think you're the best, you can think you're a quality human being, and it has nothing to do with how much money you make. It has nothing to do with who you look like or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It has everything to do with who you of your belief in yourself. Okay, that's why you see guys that don't drive expensive cars or may not have a lot to their name or not have a lot of worldly possessions and shit like that, and the woman will be just completely enamored by him, will just be completely in awe of him and just admire him and just have genuine desire for him. You know what I'm saying? Girls don't, like I told you in my past videos before, bro, money doesn't make a girl's pussy wet, bro. Girls are attracted to men who make them feel a certain way. If a woman can expect to feel good whenever she's around you, bro, and you know what I'm saying, she ain't gonna give a fuck what type of car you drive, what you do for work or anything like that. If she can get around you and you make her feel good, bro, that's all she fucking cares about, bro. She'll fucking smash you in your car. She'll fucking, you know what I'm saying, be with you, and you live at your mom's house or whatever the case may be. It's not about that. You get what I'm saying? It's not about having all these worldly possessions and shit like that. So you got to be mindful of whenever you're being led by your ego and whenever your ego starts getting into your head a little bit, because your ego, like I said, the only way that it can make itself feel good It's about looking at the world, looking what's actually here in the actual manifested world to prove to itself what type of person he is. And so that's why that's why you have this hustle culture, and why we got all these people trying to be entrepreneurs and trying to start businesses and saying that, oh, just working a 9 to 5 isn't enough, or it's lame. Those are people that are just being led by the ego, that are being led, that are just, you know what I mean? They only are doing those things just so they can feel better than the next person, because that's the only way that they can feel good, is whenever they can look over to the left, look over to the right, and say, I'm better than them. You know what I'm saying? I'm better than them because I have a better car. I'm better than them because I have more money, or I have this, or I have that, or I have a business, or I have a girlfriend, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to be mindful of that. So all of that to say, man, when you get in shape, bro, when you lock the fuck in, bro, motherfuckers is really gonna be hating on you, dog. Because when you come in with a V-taper, with a six-pack, they're gonna look at you and they got no other option but to admit, like, yeah, that motherfucker cold, bro. He is that guy. And then it forces them to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, damn, do I have what he got? And they just gotta answer the question, be like, nah, my clothes ain't fitting the way his clothes is fitting. And then what they should do is be like, you know what? I'm inspired by that. I like that, because that's what, in all actuality, that's what it is. They like that. You know, they are inspired by it. And like I said, man, they only feel good when they compare themselves. And so a man that's comparing himself to you is the only type of man that will hate you before that. And so the reason why you'll lose a lot of friends is because majority of people in the world are like that. Majority of the people in the world are like that. They compare themselves to others, and that gives them enough comfortability being who they are, because they look at the person to the left and to the right and being like, I feel like I'm better with them. Misery loves company. You know what I'm saying? Even though I feel like shit, even though that I'm being lazy and I'm not, you know what I'm saying, maybe living life in the best way possible, at least I'm not here. At least I'm not doing something that a lot of other people aren't. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's doing this, and everybody's cooked, and I'm not as bad as this person. And so, you know, that, like, is crazy, because that'll just show you how mediocre society is. Because, you know what I mean, you can have the ability to go out there and win, and go out there and be the best version of yourself, but why should you, whenever your competition is not even trying either? And so since your competition is not trying, oh, why should I try? Well, it's just all simply because you should be trying to, because you can. Because you can. You know what I mean? A lot of people just simply won't, because they're like, yeah, I know I can, and I know I probably should, but I'm probably not, because I'm sitting over here looking at these people that I'm comparing myself to, and I'm good. You know what I mean? So it's not to say that, like, these are the type of people that you don't want to be friends with anyways as well, guys. You don't want to be friends with these type of people. You want to be friends with people that are confident in who they are, that aren't going to compare themselves to you, who aren't going to look at what you got and being like, oh, I wish he didn't have all that. Or, because that's what these haters are going to do, bro. They're going to sit there and they're going to hope that you like, say for example, if you start going to the gym and some people just hate the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you got a body that they wish they had, they're going to love it whenever you can't get to the gym. That's like music to their ears. When you say, fuck, man, I haven't been able to work out for a week. Like, work's been so busy. That's gonna make them happy, bro, because they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, he's gonna stop being better than us. He's gonna start looking like us. He's gonna start notching down a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's what they're going to do. They're going to wish on your downfall. They're not going to come you directly to your face to face, but they're just going to sit there and hope. And whenever something bad happens, they're going to count it as their victory. Always be mindful of somebody who praises or is happy whenever somebody loses, or whenever something bad happens to somebody else. That right there is a man who is just miserable, who is just sad. And he's so sad because he loves the fact when people don't get access or don't possess the things that he doesn't have access to. He gets excited whenever people get back down to his level, based on his perspective. Whenever people come back down to his level and they get humbled or whatever the case may be, like, he loves that. Because why? It's because he doesn't like the thought of somebody being better than him, okay? He doesn't like the thought of somebody, you know, going out there and, you know, living a better life than he is, you know? And as a black man, I want to say the most people that probably, I'm not even going to say that, bro. But I would say, like, you're just going to lose a lot of friends, gang. You're going to lose a lot of friends, especially as a black man. As a black man who's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, at the bottom of the totem pole in regard to the race thing, don't let you be a black man that's shredded, that's jacked as fuck, that's smart, that's intelligent, because they're going to fucking hate you. Everybody's going to fucking hate you. Don't be a black person that can articulate yourself, that looks good, that presents himself, bro, because I'm telling you, you're doing exactly the opposite of what society wants you to do, exactly what society wants you to be. All right, they want black people, you as a black man, to be uneducated, to be uninformed, to just be cooked, okay, because they can sit there and they can say, oh, I'm better than him because look at how unaware, uninformed, unintelligent, or whatever the case may be. That's why black people didn't get access to certain rights or education or things like that. That's why certain women didn't have certain rights, is because we all simply want this one type of man to be in power. And so whenever you go against the status quo, whenever you decide, hey, nah, I'm going to rise up above that, I want to be better, I want to be a better version of myself, you doing that is going to make a lot of people envious and mad at you, because you're not supposed to be the one out here winning. You're not supposed to be out here living life that way. You're not supposed to be out here being smart and actually taking care of and being responsible. And you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be out here acting ignorant. You're supposed to be out here acting unaware. You're supposed to be uninformed on how to become a better version of yourself. Oh my gosh. Because I'm gonna let y'all know too, bro. When you become cold, bro, when you get a cold physique, man, like I said, you become universally attractive, bro. And when I mean universally attractive, I mean every single race of woman, every single age of woman will have no option but to just be attracted to you, okay? All right? When you get cold, because that's the one universal attractive symbol, is having a good body, bro. When you have a good body, bro, they do... Whether you black, white, or Hispanic, it don't matter, bro. You will be attractive to every single type of woman, bro. And that makes a lot of people mad, okay? You'll be out there fucking a lot of women that'll belong to another race. I'll never forget, bro. I smashed a couple white women, bro. I went out with these white women. And these white chicks was bad, bro. And every single time I went out with them, bro, there was some white men. There was some white man out there that was sour and was just upset, bro. And it's crazy, bro. It's because I don't even like white women like that, bro. I've dated every single race of woman just cuz, and you know what I'm saying? But the age I'm at right now, bro, I'm completely and 1000% attracted to a black woman. You know what I mean? And that's my preference. And I'm not saying you have to have a preference. Everybody has the right to live their own. But like, bro, I don't even like white women that way. I like white women like me. And some of them would love to hang out with me, and I would love to hang out with some of them from time to time and shit like that, bro. And I could just remember that hate was just felt on a level like no other, bro. It was crazy. But I say all that to say, man, don't worry about that shit, bro. Those people are telling you what type of quality person they are. They're insecure. They're mad because they want you to be miserable with them. And once you recognize that they're a miserable person, because that's another thing, bro. People that hate are miserable people. This lets you know that people that hate on you, they're just, at the end of the day, the reason why they're hating is because they're miserable. They're miserable. They see you out there living life. They see you out there being happy, smiling. You know what I'm saying? Becoming a better version of yourselves. And that shit makes them angry because they just want to stay the same. And they just think, and the reason why and it's crazy that they're so unaware, bro, but the reason why they choose to stay the same is exactly the reason why they're not happy. They don't have the awareness to realize that you can have a better quality of life whenever you decide to get up off your fat ass and fucking do something about it. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to be miserable. You don't have to hate yourself. You can get up and become, and if you hate something about yourself, motherfucker, get up and try to fix it, solve it, become a better version, eliminate it from being a factor. You get what I'm saying? When I was a kid, bro, when I was miserable, didn't like who I was, bro, it's because I was super skinny, bro. I could tell I looked at myself and I was like, bro, I don't look masculine at all, bro. I don't look like I can move some shit around. I don't look intimidating. I feel less than, bro. I don't feel like a man. That's me. That's based on my standard. This is how I was viewing myself. Okay, and because that's how I viewed myself, that's perspective, I felt like everybody felt that same exact way. Girls was looking at me and not giving me choosing signals and shit like that. I'm seeing them over there acting how they're acting with guys who they actually like, and I'm seeing how they're acting with me, and I can just tell it's a difference. And so I'm just like, bro, I want to feel better about myself. I'm not gonna sit here and blame and get mad at the dude that's getting girls and shit like that. Nah, he's over there getting girls and shit like that. He living life like that. Shit, if he's doing it, I might be able to do it. He's a human just like me. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no better than me. Let me go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, copy and take notes and try to be something like that. You know what I'm saying? Versus being a motherfucker that just hates you because you just out there doing it. And the reason why they hate you is because it's like they think you just have access to something that they don't have access to. They hate you because they think you were born that way. They think you were born that way. They thought that you just came out the womb that way. And so they saying like, well, shit, why can't I be like that? Why does he have to be out there with the body, with the thing, with the girls and everything like that, and not me? He thinks that it's completely luck. He thinks it's just by chance that you became that way. He doesn't realize that you actually worked and grind to that point. That just shows you how unaware this insecure motherfucker is, bro. Is that he literally thinks that you are where you are is because you was born that way. You was born that way, and he is where he is because he was born that way. And so it's just very sad to see, man. But those are just type of people those people, like, that's why I said you'll just become so much more aware of people, because when you become cold and you become a guy that elevates, bro, you know what I'm saying? People just will not be able, like, you'll be able to see how everybody feels about themselves. All right. You'll be a reflection. It's like being a reflecting mirror to a lot of people. People will start hating you, and you'll start to realize that the reason why they hate you is because they hate themselves. All right. And that's what I mean by you're going to get around better quality people, because there's going to be people that look at you, see you grinding, seeing you become a better version of themselves, and that's going to attract them to you. Okay, them being a confident version of yourself is going to attract other confident people, other secure people. They're going to want to be associated with you. The people that's not going to want to fuck with you, bro, are the people that just can't fuck with you, bro. Simply put. That's crazy how that is, bro. That was a bar right there, but you know what I'm saying? They can't fuck with you. And so because they can't fuck with you, you know what I'm saying, they're going to want to hate you. The people that's going to want to be around you is because they like you. They like what they see, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be like the girls that you're going to be messing with. You ain't going to be with that girl, dating with those girls that's going to be insecure. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be with a girl that's confident in who she is. And I'm going to tell y'all, bro, a confident woman is beautiful and gorgeous to me. All right? It's just simply put, she just carries herself in a way where she's confident. You know what I mean? Because she's confident, she gonna make sure her hair did. She gonna make sure her face looking right. She gonna make sure her clothes is on point. She's gonna make sure that her as an entire package is gonna be an A1 type of package. You feel me, bro? And so that's the type of people that you're gonna be around. So fuck all those people that are hating you, bro. That just shows you how they feel about themselves, bro. And you ain't got time to be dealing with people like that. People like that, bro, are always going to be pointing to the world as to why they have their problems. They're not going to have any sort of accountability or do anything to fix their current situation. They just want to sit there, bitch and complain and moan about the life situation. They ain't going to do shit about fixing it, okay? The people that they just want to feel pity, all right? They want somebody to feel pity for them, for their life situation. And because they have such a bad life situation, want somebody to have pity for them. In other words, they just want somebody to feel sorry enough for them to where they give them a handout, where they ain't got to work, where they ain't got to grind for nothing. Motherfucker, don't feel bad for these people. Those people are lazy, bro. Don't feel bad for them. You know what I'm saying? Just pray for them. Pray that they find the light. Pray that they increase their awareness and they finally come to and wake the fuck up like you did, bro. But you'll start to realize that. Cut them off, man. Let the ones that's meant to be with you, the ones that's going to support you, that's not going to look at you doing your thing and reaching goals and instantly get mad at you. Now the one that's going to support you and actually be like, oh, I like that. You know what I'm saying? You want that girl you don't want a girl that's like, you don't need to go to the gym and why are you acting clean and this and that. Nah, you don't want to be with a girl like that, bro. You don't want to be with a girl like that. You want to be with a girl that see you go on to the gym, seeing you eating right, and she be like, oh, I like that. That's sexy to me. I like that, bro. So it's really up to you, man. Fuck those people. Cut them off. And let's just get right into it, man. Let's lock the fuck in and get right straight to it.